Good evening. I'd like to call this public hearing of the Daviess County Fiscal Court. This is our public hearing for our proposed tax rates. And for those watching, if you showed up at Daviess County Fiscal Court, the courthouse, you're at the wrong place. We are at OCTC at Blandford Hall, the Blandford Lecture Hall. Today, for the record, today is Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Go ahead, Brooke, first item.
1, 2024 proposed tax rates.
Mr. Johnson, excuse me.
I have reviewed the 2024 tax assessment from the Department of Government, and the result is that quarterly years there are two primary categories. The first being the compensating rate, which is the rate that produces the same tax revenue produced in the prior year. The second is the rate allowing a 4% increase in revenue that was produced in the prior year.
Your mic's not working.
Thank you.
Switch on? Okay, maybe bring it a little bit closer to you.
Check.
My apologies. I'll begin again. I have reviewed the 2024 tax assessment information from the Department for Local Government and resultant calculated rates with all court members. There are two primary calculated rates, the first being the compensating rate, which is the rate that would produce the same tax revenue produced in the prior year. The second is the rate allowing a 4% increase in revenue that was produced in the prior year. After review, the preference indicated to me was to adopt the 4% rate, which results in a decrease from 2023 property tax rates from 13 cents per $100 of assessed value to 12.9 cents per $100 of assessed value. I would like to highlight that taking a rate above the compensating rate is one of the few ways that a taxing district can mitigate inflation, since the compensating rate does result in the same dollar amount as the prior year. To reiterate, the court's proposal is to accept the 4% tax rate, which does result in a decrease from the 2023 property tax rates, leaving all other ad valorem rates, which include motor vehicles and watercraft, the same. Because the proposed rate is higher than the compensating rate, Fiscal Court must hold this public hearing per KORRRA 68.245 to take any public comments on the proposed rate. I will answer any questions the court members or the public may have.
2, public comment.
This is a part of this particular meeting where we will accept any comment about the proposed tax rates that Mr. Johnson has just spoke of. That's the only item that we'll take comment on. Do I have any takers this evening? Hearing none. So this concludes our public hearing, and without further business, this meeting is adjourned. Jordan, you want to just keep going, or okay?
Right into the meeting.
All right. So we want to now call to order the Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting of Thursday, August 22nd. This is the second meeting of August. If you would, join me for the prayer and the pledge, please. Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we pause and we thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Dear Heavenly Father, we know there are people whose hearts are heavy this day. We ask your blessing upon them. We ask you to let your Holy Spirit and your light shine upon them. Give them hope for tomorrow. Give them strength to continue on. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask your blessing upon all those that we serve as elected officials. We ask your guidance. We ask for your wisdom that we might do that which is pleasing to you. throughout this meeting and throughout our lives. We pray these things in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brooke, item 1, please.
1, consideration for presentation. A, proclaim the month of September 2024 as Daviess County Preparedness Month.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. Everyone, can you hear from this speaker? Okay, good. Whereas Daviess County Emergency Management, EMA, is a vital public service, and whereas in conjunction with FEMA's National Preparedness Month campaign, and whereas the 2024 theme will focus on, quote, the importance of a diverse and multicultural community to prepare for disasters and build resilience before disaster strikes. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize EMA by designating Daviess County Preparedness Month, now therefore I, Daviess County Judge Executive Charlie Castlen, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Daviess County Preparedness Month and urge the community to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities presented in Daviess County this 22nd day of August 2024. Charlie Castlen, Daviess County Judge Executive.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think Andy Ball, you want to make some comments, and then we'll get our pictures with you.
Thank you, Judge. Andy Ball, Daviess County Emergency Management Director. Just a few comments real quick. Brooke told me to talk slow. Tell her that's no problem because I'm from Ohio County. National Preparedness Month, we observe each year in September nationwide to raise awareness about the importance of disasters and emergencies that could affect us at any time. 2023 FEMA survey included over 7,600 respondents, and it indicated only 51% of Americans believe that they're prepared for emergencies or disasters, and 57% took 3 or more actions to prepare for a disaster within the last year. The 2 most frequent things that we do here in America following disasters, however, are, I wish I'd been better prepared, and number 2, I never thought it would happen to me. So it leaves a lot of folks in America unprepared, and that's what we're trying to avoid for Daviess County. I'll tell you now that we're extremely fortunate back in December of 2021 to not have gotten hit or struck by that tornado that swept through Western Kentucky. I stayed up that night at the office watching radar, and when it entered Western Kentucky, it was on a beeline for Owensboro, Daviess County. All of a sudden, as it started approaching Dawson Springs and Madisonville area, it started drifting a little more southerly, and lucky for us, it didn't hit us, but Ohio County wasn't as lucky as well as Mayfield, Dawson Springs, Boulder, and some of the other areas. Like I said, many other Kentuckians were not so lucky. I ask you now, were you ready that night if it did hit us? And will you be ready next time if we're not so blessed? So we want to prepare this month to serve as a reminder to be prepared year-round, because these things, as you saw with the tornado in December, they can happen any month of the year, anywhere. All throughout September, Daviess County Emergency Management, in conjunction with the Daviess County Detention Center, we're going to be posting topics to help our community to be better prepared for the next disaster. It's not if, it's when. More information such as building a shelter kit, creating a family and communications plan, and specific disaster preparedness tools can be also located on a site called ready.gov, which is managed by FEMA. Furthermore, our office is here to assist anybody, including churches, schools, businesses, in helping create or manage their plans, better their plans, conduct facility walkthroughs, or provide site-specific training and drills. We're doing that with Daviess County High School tomorrow with their tornado. Contact us on our Facebook page or you can call my office at 270-685-8448. I'll close up by adding that the Daviess County Detention Center came to me a couple months ago, Art McMillian, and asked if he could help us in any way because they wanted to do a community outreach project. I jumped for joy because in my line of field, I don't ever get people coming to me, can I help you? Unless it's that good. So I want to turn it over to Sergeant Gary Sharp and let him talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing as part of the National Preparedness Month.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Gary Sharp. I'm a shift supervisor at the Daviess County Detention Center. I'd like to thank members of Fiscal Court for allowing me to be here this evening. At the Daviess County Detention Center, our motto is protecting the community from the inside out. Unfortunately, it's the nature of our work behind closed doors that we're not able to interact with the public in a proactive manner. Because of this, I'm proud to announce the Detention Center's Community Outreach Initiative. Moving forward, the Detention Center will be implementing a series of classes and projects, the purpose of which will be the aid and distribution of information and we'll be implementing a series of classes and projects, the aid and distribution of information and resources to the general public. We're seeking to play a proactive role in protecting our community, and we're grateful to the Daviess County Emergency Management Agency for being the first partner with us on our first class, which is going to be a general disaster preparedness course. We're also very grateful that they have displayed a willingness to assist us in performing a series of additional classes in the future that I'm eager to announce at a later date as well. I'm looking forward to representing the Detention Center and by extension the Fiscal Court by providing a quality education opportunity for those who need it. Thank you again for allowing me to speak, for the opportunity to serve Daviess County.
Thank you. Ready for a picture? Yes. I'm going to put this behind me here. Thank you, sir. Thanks for what you do for us.
Thank you, sir.
No help.
3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Pictures.
Do we have a comment on that?
What's that?
Do we have a comment?
From you? Yeah. Andy, before you run away, Commissioner Marksburg would like to say something. Go
Is
ahead.
this working? No, it doesn't sound like it. I just wanted to talk to you about a countywide app or an email notification for the county. I understand you guys might be working on something like that. I just think that would be great for us to have, where people could sign up and have an app where you can get notifications if there's something coming, email if people don't have an app on their phone. So if you could speak to that, if there's anything yet in the works, I would just like to know.
Yes, it is approved for this fiscal year for an app. And it's going to be something, you can look up My EMA app. We haven't put it out for bid yet, obviously, but it's going to look like something like that. We're working with the judge right now. We've met with a few agencies, so we're trying to formalize it and get it to exactly what we want so that when we do put it out later this year, it'll be at least close to what we're looking. But one of the big things that I like about it is it's going to have the ability for the National Weather Service weather radio system to tie into it. So if you turned that notification on, you would not necessarily have to have a NOAA weather radio sitting by your bedside or on your boat or on your camper. If you turn that notification on, if you had the app downloaded, if we have a tornado warning come into Daviess County, it would alert you on your phone through that app. So that is very key. You guys have probably heard me preach. That is the most important piece of equipment when it comes to being prepared to take shelter is a NOAA weather radio. So just that aspect of it alone, I think, is worth thousands. Yes,
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioners' comments? Andy, I just want to say thank you for all the work you've done for us over the years, and thank you for your role as our EMA director, and also thank you to the detention center and to Jailer Maglaren for partnering with Andy and his department to try to help our community be better prepared. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Next item, Brooke.
B, recognize Airport-Sorgho Fire Chief Pat Thompson for induction into the Kentucky Firefighters Association Hall of Fame.
So I just want everybody to know that Pat Thompson, our Airport-Sorgho Fire Chief, is with us this evening. And I had the pleasure on, I think Commissioner Condor was with me on August 6th. We attended the Kentucky Firefighters Association 2024 President's Banquet at the Convention Center. And I just want everybody to know, our community to know, that Pat was inducted in, Chief Thompson was inducted into the, as a 2024 Hall of Fame inductee. And Pat, if you humor me, I'm gonna read what they had here. Michael Pat Thompson was born on September 2, 1966 in Owensboro, Kentucky. He graduated from Owensboro High School in 1984. Shortly after graduating high school, Pat joined the Airport-Sorgho Volunteer Fire Department. Pat spent time with Airport-Sorgho and some other volunteer departments in the Owensboro area until 1991, when he was hired to a career position by the Henderson Fire Department. He spent 20 years with Henderson, retiring as a lieutenant in 2011. In 1998, Pat and his family moved back to Owensboro, and he once again became active in the Airport-Sorgho Volunteer Fire Department. In 2007, he became chief of Airport-Sorgho and remains the fire chief today. While working for Henderson, Pat was encouraged by Chief Charles Bud Trogdon to get involved in the Kentucky Firefighters Association. He attended his first conference in 1994 and has served on the Legislative Committee for many years. In 2015, Pat was elected to the position of third vice president of the Kentucky Firefighters Association. In 2018, he was elected president, and in 2019 hosted the KFA conference in Owensboro. After completing his term as president, Pat was elected as the vice president at large of the KFA. He still serves the KFA in that role. Pat has also represented the KFA on the National Volunteer Fire Council since 2013. He currently serves on the executive board of the NVFC as the chairman of the Legislative Committee. Pat has been happily married to his wife Mary since 1988, and they have a son Nick Cox and a daughter-in-law Amanda. They have been blessed with a granddaughter Keelan and a grandson Lucas. Pat and the family are avid sports fans, especially of UK and the Cincinnati Reds. And Pat was presented the Hall of Fame Award by KFA President Mark Henderson and Acting Chairman of the Fire Commission, Bruce Roberts. And Pat, I just want to say thank you for all your years of service to not only Daviess County, not only Owensboro, but to the broader Kentucky at large, and all volunteer firefighters by your active engagement in your work over the years. So I have just a little token of my appreciation to you here, for you here. Folks, this is a picture of, it's too small to hold up and let you see it, but it's a picture of Pat with several others. They attended the signing of the Fire Grants and Safety Act, and they were invited personally to be there for the signing and got to meet President Biden. And Pat, I read the article in the paper that was in there shortly after that. And I say it was indeed an honor that you were there to represent us and all firefighters for that matter. So I want you to come down if you don't mind getting this, and if you want to say a few words, we'd be glad to hear from you. And we certainly want to get our picture taken with you. Did you bring your plaque with you? I'd like to get a picture of that, maybe. All right, if you'd bring it down too. Here, let's get our picture if y'all don't mind. And Pat, if you want to say a few words. Sure. But here's, we got that for you. So.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
honor.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And this, just for those who can't read this, this is Kentucky Firefighters Association 2024 Hall of Fame, Pat Thompson. So. All right. You'd say a few words. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, sure.
All right.
Yeah, they will.
Is this?
I don't need a microphone, I don't think, unless you just want me to.
Good.
I got a big mouth.
All right.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Go start crying, go start crying. No,
Larry, don't jinx.
I'm gonna grab it. Let me go to the side. So, the fire service is a very rewarding profession, whether you're a career firefighter that just is compensated for the job or you're a volunteer to protect your community. And it's very rewarding to spend nearly 40 years doing that in this community. And the opportunities that it's given me, such as being able to serve on the National Volunteer Fire Council and attend, be in the Oval Office for a signing, is very humbling. It's a shame more people don't volunteer. A chance to stump a little bit for volunteerism, but the communities around can't afford to have career firefighters in each of these small communities. It's impossible. And it's a shame that only 250 out of approximately 40-something thousand residents that live outside the city limits of Owensboro, and all we have are 250 volunteers. So I'll use this as a stumping effort to recruit some volunteer firefighters out there. If you don't think you can help your community, you're wrong. And we're dwindling in numbers, and the bottom line is, what happens if nobody comes? We've got to have more people, and you've got to volunteer. We need your help. So take this opportunity to throw some offers out there. Come on out and join your volunteer fire department. If you don't know how, contact the Daviess County Fire Department or contact Fiscal Court. We'll be able to put you in contact with those. But thank you for the recognition. I appreciate it. It's humbling. And I look forward to many more years of service.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you all.
And I just want to say for anybody that can hear me, the first time I ever remember meeting this guy was at one of the volunteer chiefs meetings when I had been appointed liaison commissioner, and he didn't hesitate to let me know that we needed to step up and raise the fire dues because, and he pushed for that a long time, and finally under this court we were able to come up with a different approach, but. I appreciate your support of that. So.
We appreciate your support. We got our specs ready for a fire truck, so we're ready to do this.
All right.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you. And y'all don't have to stay and hang around, okay? All right. Yes, sir. Next item, Brooke.
C, Treasurer's Report for July of 2024.
Mr. Johnson.
As of July 31, 2024, the total cash balance is $74,105,763.59 for all funds. General fund balance is $36,056,040.82. Minus operating reserve and restricted funds, cash for general fund operations is $26,539,541.87. I have reviewed the account activity for the first month's operation in the new fiscal year and have found no anomalies. Budgeted interfund transfers are completed for the year as approved. I have nothing else to report.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Johnson from the commission? And again, this is just a presentation, so there's no vote. And these records are available in the courthouse for anyone who wants to see them. Next item, Brooke.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of the August 8th, 2024 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We've all had the minutes for a few days to review. Do I hear any corrections, any additions, or deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions for the treasurer? These are, for those who are watching, these are all the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
C, Green River District Health Department Resolution establishing 2024 tax rates.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
Per KRS 212-755, Section 3, Fiscal Court must approve any proposed special ad valorem public health tax rates in order for those rates to be levied. This is accomplished by the Daviess County Board of Health, Daviess County Public Health Taxing District, submitting a resolution to the court with their desired rates per the statute. Their resolution requests that their tax rate be kept at 4 cents per $100 of assessed value for real property, personal property, and motor vehicles. In 2017, their rate was taken from 3.5 cents per $100 of assessed value to 4 cents and has remained at 4 cents to date. I see no issues.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
D, Resolution 17, 2024, participate in the formation and governance of the Kentucky-Ohio River Regional Recreation Authority.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, the Kentucky-Ohio River Regional Recreation Authority was created this past session by the General Assembly. It is patterned off of the Kentucky Mountain Regional Recreation Authority to provide a framework to coordinate a comprehensive approach to develop and maintain assets for recreation, cultural resources, all to boost tourism and outdoor and economic growth in river communities. Daviess County is unique in the enabling statute. It provides for 6 county representatives and actually names Daviess County as getting one of the original seats. This program, while at the moment it does not have any money associated with it, the Kentucky Mountain Authority this past budget received $1.75 million for the first year of the budget and $1.25 million the second year. That these things can go then to help develop some of our resources here. Daviess County does have 2 national bicycle routes through it. And of course we do have the Ohio and Green Rivers, and along with our own green belts. So we have some, I think, things that we can use that can be developed through this organization.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Smith? Any questions from the public? For those who, I received a call, quite honestly, I didn't know anything about this. I received an email and then a follow-up call from, I guess, former second lady, Heather French Henry. She was married to, or is married to our former lieutenant governor. And she will be leading she has experience with the mountain region, I believe, that Mr. Smith mentioned, and she informed me that she will be taking the lead on helping form this and getting the bylaws established and all. So she was very pleased when I said I thought we would be passing this. To me, it makes absolutely no sense to do anything except do this because as Mr. Smith said, the mountain region has a considerable amount of dollars that is funneled towards recreation, and this is a way for us to take advantage of that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
E, Memorandum of Agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Office of Homeland Security, and Daviess County to establish an agreement for law enforcement weapons and ammunition for the Daviess County Detention Center.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. Resolution 2, 2024, approved in fiscal court session 125 of 24, was a grant application through the Law Enforcement Protection Program for law enforcement standard firearms and ammunition for the peace officers of the Daviess County Detention Center. This is the resultant memorandum of agreement. The total grant amount is $44,524.35, which includes the purchase of 65 duty pistols and 32,500 rounds of ammunition. If approved, we will conduct a bid process to purchase the items. Jailer Maglinger, Detention Center Management, and I have reviewed the agreement, and we see no issues.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
F, Memorandum of Agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Office of the Governor, Department for Local Government, Office of State Grants, and Daviess County Fiscal Court to establish an agreement for water project cost overruns.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This is the agreement to receive the $1.2 million in funds for the Daviess County Water District System Waterline Project that was appropriated in Senate Bill 91 to Daviess County, as reflected in Budget Amendment Number 1, approved and adopted in Fiscal Court Session 725 of 24. As a recap, the Daviess County Water District is upgrading approximately 8,000 linear feet of 12-inch water line to a 16-inch water line from the Wing Avenue Pump Station to Highway 54 at Whimsic Court. The upgraded 16-inch water line will improve pumping capacity to all 8,000 meters served by the southeast portion of the Daviess County Water District system, Owensboro Health, in the city of Whitesville. The Water District had $1.66 million for the project. However, they required an additional $1.2 million due to the inflationary cost of the 16-inch main and materials. Resolution 1624 was approved in Fiscal Court Session 8-6 of 24 as the first step to receive and flow through these funds on a reimbursement basis, with this memorandum of agreement being the second and final step. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
G, contract with the Green River Area Development District for administrative services for the Community Development Block Grant Program for Owensboro Regional Recovery.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
In Fiscal Court Session 411 of 24, the Community Development Block Grant Program for the Owensboro Regional Recovery Center, or ORRC, was approved in the amount of $200,000. $190,000 of that is for ORRC's salaries and $10,000 to GRAD to administer the grant. This contract is for GRAD's administrative services in connection with this grant project as presented in our application. The agreement is standard, legal, and I have reviewed it. We see no issues.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
H, change order 01 for bid number 2223-39.2, electrical upgrade project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This is a change order for the electrical upgrade project at the courthouse resulting from complications incurred while boring from the transformer to the courthouse site. Ultimately, the contractor had scheduled their boring company for 2 days and due to unforeseen conditions, utilized them for nearly 2 weeks to complete this portion of the project, in addition to having to rent a hydrovac unit. The change order is in the amount of $15,252. Project Manager Bickett reviewed this change order with the contractor, and he believes the amount to be reasonable. Unrestricted funds are available to cover the overage, and I see no particular issues. I would recommend approval.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I, award bid number 2425-11, purchase of 89 new fire hydrants.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
We received 8 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by KORRRA, Maine for the purchase of 89 new fire hydrants in the amount of $410,834.99. Daviess County Fiscal Court approved a grant assistance agreement with Kentucky Infrastructure Authority in fiscal court session held February 6, 2024. This is a resultant bid for the procurement of 89 fire hydrants to be installed in the Daviess County Water District, Whitesville, and East Daviess County Water District systems at locations identified with the assistance of Daviess County Fire Department to improve fire protection across the county. This bid only covers the procurement of the hydrants. Installation will be bid at a later date. There were no exceptions to the specifications, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions from the commissioners for Ms. Sturgeon? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
J, award bid number 2425-16, EC 300 excavator undercarriage replacement.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 3 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by IMCO for the provision and installation of a replacement undercarriage for the EC 300 excavator at the West Davis County landfill in the amount of $20,364.36. Undercarriage replacement for landfill equipment is recommended every 4,000 hours, and this unit is at that threshold. IMCO is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specification. I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
K, award bid number 2425-17, one new D8-21 waste handler dozer.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 3 bids and recommend award to the best evaluated bid submitted by Boyd Caterpillar for one new Caterpillar D822 waste handler dozer and the total net amount of $823,130. This is the budgeted replacement of an aging unit currently in inventory. You will note the 2 lowest bids are not being recommended due to units bid with not including Hydrax. Hydrax are vital to landfill applications and varied terrains such as CD&D wastes. Boyd Caterpillar is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
L, award bid number 2425-18, one new community notification siren.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 4 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by American Signal Corporation for the provision and installation of one new community notification siren located at West Louisville Elementary School in the amount of $28,939.80. This is a budget addition to our community warning system. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
M, award bid number 2425-21, one new single axle dump truck.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, we received 3 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Sternberg Ford for the provision of one new single-axle dump truck for the Davis County Road Department in the amount of $78,999. This is a budgeted replacement of a unit. Sternberg Ford is a known vendor. There were minor exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon? No. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
N, award RFQ number 2425-32, flooring replacement project.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 4 quotes and recommend award to the best evaluated quote submitted by Carpets Unlimited for the replacement of flooring in the Davis County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $12,622. This is a budgeted phase of the courthouse renovation project. Please note the lowest quote is not being recommended due to unacceptable exceptions. Carpets Unlimited is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specifications, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
O, promote James Bobby Jackson to senior heavy equipment operator effective August 18th of 2024.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Just want to say congratulations to Mr. Jackson for his service to our community, and wish him well in his new role. All those in favor, Commissioner, anything you want to add?
I'll say it at the end, but I can say it now. Yes, and Bobby Jackson, thank you for actually stepping up. He's an informal leader as well with his department already well respected by his peers and a great fit for this position. And thank you for looking forward.
Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
P, accept the retirement resignation of Brian Lanham, Transfer Station Supervisor, effective August 31st of 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Want to wish Brian success or a long, happy retirement, and also thank him for his years of service. Commissioner? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Brian has been with the county for over 30 years now, and it's worked out well for him to be able to retire at this time. I appreciate his dedication. It's not an easy job. It's a tough job day in and day out to work that transfer station and the weather of everything that they do and deal with. And Brian, thank you so much for your time, for putting that good time into the county.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Q, reappoint Dr. Rosalind Clark to the Steering Committee Advisory Board, effective September 1st, 2024 through August 31st of 2027.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Dr. Clark has already served 3 terms. I don't normally make it a habit of appointing people for long times, but she is active in our attempting to get recognition as a recovery-ready community. And as she's in the middle of that, I think it's important for her to stay in this role, and she's agreed to do so. And I want to thank her for the many years that she has served our community in the various roles, and leading the steering committee is a big job, so I appreciate it. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
R, appoint local attorney Isaac Settle to the Daviess County Animal Control Commission, effective September 1st, 2024 through August 31st of 2028.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. I want to thank Mr. Settle for agreeing to serve. I had to contact a handful of attorneys before his name was referred to me. He succeeds Mr. Bowers, who passed away, and I want to thank him posthumously for agreeing to serve. You have a comment you'd like to make?
I just was wondering.
You need to.
I just noticed on the agenda that you had 2 board appointments to the animal shelter, and I didn't know if you could kind of talk to us about how are they involved in the changes that are being looked at the animal shelter. As you know, it's causing great concern for those of us that are animal lovers. I actually volunteered at the shelter 2 days a week for 8 months right after I retired, and I didn't know if the board and these people are being pulled in or part of the discussion of what's going on with that.
Say her name.
For the record, you better say your name for the record.
I'm sorry. Cheryl Brown, 2808 Turfway Drive, Owensboro.
Thank you. Traditionally, this board has, David, you want to speak to this? You've been involved with animals.
So typically, this board, since for at least the last 10 years, has only met once a year to go over Ashley would give an annual report. So at this point, they've not yet had the meeting this year, partly because of everything going on. I think the meetings are typically held in May or June.
They don't have really any authority over.
They're just, no ma'am. They're an advisory board that meets when called.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
S, appoint Andrea Borman to the Daviess County Animal Control Commission, effective September 1 of 2024 through August 31st of 2028.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. I want to thank Ms. Borman for agreeing to serve. I've been acquainted with her for a long time, and I know she's a animal lover. And when I reached out to her and her twin sister asking if one of them were willing to serve, she responded first, so she's the one that got it over her sister. So anyway, I want to thank her again. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
3, consideration for discussion. A, first reading of KOC A.107, 2024, 07-2024, an ordinance relating to the adoption of the 2024 Daviess County tax rates.
This is the first reading, so we won't have a motion and a second, and we won't have a vote. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. As we discussed in the public hearing, I have reviewed the 2024 tax assessment information from the Department for Local Government and resultant calculated rates with each of you. The preference indicated to me was to adopt the 4% tax rate, which results in a decrease from 2023's property tax rates. After examining the county's current financial position and projecting the county's financial position over the next few years, adopting the 4% rate would generate sufficient revenue to manage the fiscal year 24-25 budget with no negative impact to future fiscal years. I have prepared the tax ordinance accordingly. The rates are real property at 12.9 cents per $100 of assessed value, tangible personal property at 13.8 cents per $100 of assessed value, and motor vehicles and watercraft at 17 cents per $100 of value each. All of the tax classifications listed in the ordinance are either derived from those read into the record or set by the state. This is the first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions for Mr. Johnson from the commissioners? Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. I know that our PVA Administrator, Rachel Foster, was here earlier with the public hearing, but she has since left. But just for some clarification, please, on tax rates. You know, the tax rate itself is performed by this fiscal court, but yet the valuation of property is by the PVA, which is executing the laws that are handed to them by the state of Kentucky. So that's where all of that comes from. Now, the one discussion, I believe even Commissioner Marksberry and I have discussed this recently and even in the past. If you really wanted to change how that's done, that's at the state level of valuation. The piece that I think is interesting, though, that might help if the state could do, we have the homestead exemption, and that I believe is a little over $40,000 of value that's deducted from your primary residence. But I've recommended, and I think Commissioner Marksberry would even agree, and I think everybody else would, we need to advocate for the state to take that homestead exemption and actually freeze an individual's property value. What that would do is not only have the exemption, but it would also assist the individuals that are eligible for it until that changes. Either they move, pass away, or whatever the case may be. But that is an advocacy we need to make sure that our state representatives, our senator and representatives understand that that will give the elderly a little bit of a break here. Now there is a problem that, that's not really helping out the young that are not eligible for it, but it's a great start. So yes, we have our responsibility here at Fiscal Court, but the state of Kentucky has their responsibilities also. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this item?
B,
Next item,
other
Bill.
business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. There is none that I'm aware of. C, public comments.
This is a part of our agenda where we ask the public to come forward and identify yourself, your name and address for the record, and say whatever's on your mind. That's not relative to anything else that we've covered on the agenda.
So Judge Castlen, we are aware of an open library board position due to the resignation of Chris Gendick. And we were wanting to know, can you share with the community the process for replacement and timeline of the new appointment? And if there's a specific demographic you are looking for?
As far, I'll do the timeline. I won't speak to anything else. At the moment, we'll wait and see what the KDLA sends us. My understanding is within 30 days, the KDLA and David, you can step in and correct me if I'm mistaken, but KDLA, the process that was used last time, there was a vacancy, was actually not appropriate. The board actually submitted names. My understanding is that's not supposed to happen on a resignation. It only happens when the term is full. And so what is, but for how do I want to word this? But for the process is KDLA, I believe, has 30 days from the date of Chris's resignation, which I think was Wednesday, is when he submitted that to Erin. She forwarded the email to me. And then they will submit 2 names to me. My understanding is they will pull those names from people, whoever has gone to the library's website and submitted applications. And then I can either accept those, or pick one of those or not. If I don't, I notify the KDLA within 30 days of them sending it to me. And then my understanding is they have 30 days to get me another name.
Okay.
And then I can either appoint someone of my own choosing or one of those 2. Again, all of that. Anybody, just like the 2 people that were appointed, or 1, 2, 3 people appointed to boards tonight. With the
So will that
vote
be
of the
voted
fiscal
on?
court.
You
Yes,
said
ma'am. Always.
they will, okay.
Yes.
And our other question is, how will you ensure transparency with the other commissioners and with the citizens of Davis County about who you're looking at and who applied, and if they were rejected, that type of thing?
It's public record once I make a decision. That's how it played out last time.
So we'll know when if you get 2 people and those are rejected, we will know that information?
Absolutely.
Okay. And we, as you probably know, we do attend the library board meetings regularly, and we were assured the last appointee had no hidden agenda for censorship. She does. Although we should all understand this is not a political position, the library board is not. It has been made unnecessarily political and caused a lot of division in our community. So we'd just like to please consider ensuring a pragmatic and fair approach to filling the position as far as the person that's chosen, that be carefully looked at and vetted out. We just ask for that. I think our community's experienced enough chaos without adding to it with this. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to any item other than what Ms. Brown just spoke to? We'll take us. Next item, Brooke.
D, comments by Davis County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Marksberry.
I don't know if my mic is working, is it?
He said just bring it closer.
Is it working now? No? Okay. I'll talk loud.
Here, I'll turn it back on.
Oh, okay.
He's got that one on.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I've had a lot of comments about the grass along the highways, the weeds and the grass, the overgrowth, and I know a lot of this is on state roads. So my question, I guess, and Dirk and I've talked about this a little bit, our county engineer, is what can we do about it? If the state is only going to mow twice a year, do we have permission as the county to cut it or hire it done? And I would just like to know if we have any recourse on that.
I'll just say, when I went to my last conference, Commissioner Condor and I had a brief conversation about it. He asked me to talk to some of the judge executives to see what they've done in their community. The Judge Executives Association actually has a program where you can email a question and they'll email it out to all the other judge executives and ask them specifically to send answers directly to the questioner. I did that. I got about 6 responses. They range from, we just pick a few places that we decide. They range from, we have a good relationship with our road, our local highway department. and to where our people like Dirk and our road crew would call them and tell them specific situations or locations that need to be taken down. We do that ourselves when citizens call us and say, hey, this site triangle is blocked or whatever. I had one just recently y'all took care of, Dirk. And one of them said that. One of them said that they just flat out started taking over a section of the road. Now for them, it was Oldham County, and they said it was about a 7-mile stretch, and they did one other stretch, and those are the two. They got a little pushback from the state, but they didn't take any legal action to stop them. Two, Bowling Green, and also I think it's Boone or Kenton, I'm not sure. Boone. They have taken the approach that certain roads they have reached an agreement with the state, and I've got to call in to Representative Miles, but I've not had that meeting yet. To talk about what our choices might be and to share what I'd rather not do it out front, but you asked the question, I'm answering it. But they simply took certain pieces of roads, and I don't know how much of it they took, but one thing we have to realize is we have, Dirk, how much, excuse me, Mr. Duper, how much total county roads we have is 569 miles, right? And I would think the state highway, the miles is close to that. I don't know that. The reality is that we have to be cautious. But anyway, what the other two counties I mentioned, they've reached an agreement. Pretty much the state says, you mow it as many times as you want to mow it. We'll pay for 2 times. That's what the state, that's what we contract. And so they are paid whatever a contractor would be paid. But for 2 of the mowings, and they can mow it as many times as they want. I think I understand yours and our fellow citizens' frustration with much of what the so-called tall grass is actually Johnson grass, which if the state would take care of those pockets of Johnson grass, things would look much better, because just a little tall grass on the roadway is not necessarily, I don't think we want to spend the money to make it look like our yards, but you know, as some have said, if you want to spend it, you can do it. But anyway, that's what I've learned.
I appreciate that. The other thing is the animal shelter. There's been a lot of discussion, as well as the future funding by the fiscal court. I just want to reiterate, personally, we've been looking at different models in varying size communities, some of them with populations as little as 16,000 people that have been very successful at some of the models we've studied. That would be Woodford County. No one has said fiscal court would not fund the animal shelter that I am aware of. I just want to make that clear. Nothing has been decided yet as far as I know, and we're continuing to look at options that would be best for the animals and the taxpayers. Thank you.
If you make it a nonprofit part of it, isn't that the same?
You want to come back?
No, she's had her time, and we're not getting into
sorry.
Public comments is over.
Yeah. So anyway, we're continuing to look at all options. Thank you.
Commissioner Castlen.
Got this one. Thank you, Judge. I just want to say that over the last week, we've had the passing of an employee, Tim Jackson, and it's very saddening when that happens, and it really affects an entire organization, especially with somebody that's been a part of an organization as long as he was. And our hearts and prayers go out to Tim's family for what they're going through right now. And I wanted the community to know that as well, that had occurred, and that we're all saddened by it, and how it affects everybody as it would like a family as well. So.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well said. Commissioner Condor.
Again, echoing Commissioner Castlen's comment about Mr. Jackson. May the perpetual light shine upon him, that he rest in peace. May his family also be able to take this gracefully, even though it will be very hard. There is a couple of individuals maybe in the audience we need to probably address. Your Biddle's here. He's one of the farmers that is on Highway 231 that has a farm stand out there. One of the best places you could ever go to get farm-grown vegetables is Hugh Biddle. He's also on the Water District Board, very vocal, especially recently, with what the Water District is attempting to do with the airport. Hopefully that gets reconciled to where Hugh doesn't have a heart attack to begin with. Because he is passionate about the Water District and what happens out there. So thank you for your service and thank you for the food. He actually brought, I think, 8 grass sacks full of corn to Fiscal Court about a month ago, and everyone just thoroughly enjoyed it. So Hugh, thank you so much.
Not everyone.
Also see Arnie Weiner here. He asked me a question earlier about roads and signage, specifically Fairview Drive and Settles Road. Is that correct, I believe, Arnie? There's an individual here that you probably, thank you. There's an individual here that maybe if you can catch it, and that's Tom Levitt, sitting over on the end with Brad. He will answer your question point blank as to what that might be, because it is a state road, but he will be able to explain what may or may not occur there to you in much better detail than I can. How's that? Okay? Then, yes, we will have a great event Saturday night, Concert on the Lawn. If you really want to have a good event for your family, come to us Saturday night at KWC. I believe it starts around 7 o'clock or so, but it's a great family event. It truly, truly is. Last comment is just this. We now have, as been noticed by the public, another board member of the library resigning. It is concerning to see that consistently happen. For whatever reason, hopefully Mr. Gendick's resignation was due to work schedule. I hope that that's the case. I don't know that in particular. But we need to really manage this and lead this in a better way. For not only the people that work at the library, thank you for your work, but also for the people of Daviess County. They deserve it. The work needs to be done and carried out very well to the point where people want to serve on the board, because it is becoming a very hard task, I believe, to find individuals that can, in the middle of the road, serve on the library board. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner. So I've got a handful of items that I've been asked to share, or I've decided to, I guess. First, I want to continue on to thank those nonprofits who are doing the Cash for Trash, St. Mary of the Woods this time. Also, Pentecostals of Owensboro and the Knoxville Lions Club. They covered 18 miles, 29.29 tons, and 87 bags of trash. So thank you. This is something that's I just want to mention. It's something you'll be seeing on public service announcements around the state. But Kentucky will be joining along with the rest of the nation on with their effort. Drive sober or get pulled over runs August 16th through September 2. That's the Labor Day weekend. Last year during the Labor Day holiday weekend, there were 77 crashes involving an impaired driver, which resulted in 29 injuries and 6 deaths. And that's just in Kentucky. And, folks, in today's world, there was a day when folks, you got a slap on the wrist for drinking and driving. Today, you can call a friend. Almost anybody's going to be agreeable to come pick you up if you've had too much to drink. And so let's do better. Also, I want to brag on I should have done this while the fire folks were here. But I just want to highlight there's been growing success in our paramedic program. Battalion Chief Jacob Cox reports
that in early August, the state released numbers of new nationally registered paramedics across the state. He reported that from 2022 to 2024, 22% of all new paramedics came from Daviess County. Almost a quarter of all new paramedics throughout the state came from our community. Of those numbers, 10 graduates came from the traditional program through the KCTCS, the Owensboro campus right here where we are, while 14 graduates came from the Daviess County Fire Department's accelerated program that we created 3 years back. A total of 24 nationally registered paramedics are within Daviess County. So that program, the local program, was created because of a critical shortage of paramedics that we were experiencing, and AMR was having problems, and so was city and county fire, and so that's been alleviated a little bit, but the program's working very well. My good friend Aloma Dew has requested that I inform the public that I will be presenting a Women's Equality Day proclamation on Monday, August 26th. That will be at 5 p.m. at City Hall. So, because our courtroom is going to be unavailable. And I believe the mayor may be doing a proclamation there as well. I don't know, when Andy spoke, did he mention this date specifically? I want to. So, this is tied to Andy Ball's comments, Disaster Preparedness Workshop. Learn how to prepare for emergencies with expert guidance. And this will be held Thursday, September 12, 2024 from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Owensboro Christian Church. And before I gavel us out, I just want to say a big thank you to Mr. Johnson. He's the one that found this location for us. Also, he's the one that did the legwork, I believe. Also, I want to thank Dr. Scott Williams for agreeing to allow us to use this space at no charge, and appreciate his kindness on that. And don't know if I'm out of line or not, but I'm still going to do it. I see a gentleman in the audience, I think he's a short timer in our community, I saw on Facebook, where he's enjoyed his time with us, and but Mr. Josh Kelly with the Owensboro Times has posted somewhere, I saw it somewhere, that he's a short timer in our community. But Josh, I wish you well wherever you're going, and I think our community was blessed to have you spend your time here with us while you were here. So I want to say thank you. Anyway, without further business, this meeting is adjourned.